How you guys doing? Randy Richard in the shop. Now for the brass beam engine base, this is all brass, and of course we have this finished off, and that surface machined. We're going to get all the holes done here, the rest of the milling done here in this video. One of the critical holes is the hole here, and the dimension from here to the center here. So I figured out roughly the center here and scribed a little line where that distance that is required is 3.187, and it came out pretty good in the middle. And then they give you a rough dimension from the surface here up, and I figured out what roughly that is right there at that little cross. And it's a 3/8 hole. So this is a 3/8 pin, and it's going to be pretty close there to the top, but about 1/8 of an inch. So I think we'll be good, and we're going to put a bushing in there. So I think we'll be okay. So we're going to start right off with that hole as our 0 point, and then come over for our exact distance to drill the other holes in here and the top and through here and make the ports on this side. We have a lot to do here, and we'll try to get it done in this one video. Put that up here. We're going to use our Canadian jacks again and set those in here, I think, with the ball. See, now they got the ball on the end here. Set that one in there. I'll stick a parallel under here to raise that up a little bit. I can adjust the height of each one of these independently, because that surface is very irregular, and that will help so we can get a pretty even pressure on holding that. And we don't want the jack underneath where we're going to drill. Now I just need to level that out. There we go. A few tenths. Just slip my scribe up in the quill there, and boom, boom, we're all lined up on the cross. We're going to ream it to 375. And then we'll be making a bushing to go in there. Now I'm going to come right from here. Since this is square, I'm just going to go right over here and drill this one from the back side. Now in the Y axis, I did not go anywhere. It's the same off the base, let's say, over here. So it's just straight over here, 3.187. Using a spotting drill here, because especially on that rough surface. Yeah, I think we're a little to the right hand side, but very close to center. One drill size under. One thing I do on my VFD that I use that have run in the mill is I've programmed the jog function, and it's on a switch. And I have it set for very slow turning for reaming and for tapping. And most of the time I have enough power to do most everything except, maybe large taps, but most stuff I can do. And all I got to do is flip a switch and it's automatically at the slow speed, which is actually pretty handy feature to have that programmed in there. And I can set it for whatever frequency I want. I don't know what this one's set. I would have it exactly set on. I did it more like as a visual on the RPM. We're going to do an exhaust port, and the exhaust port needs to be in the center of the bore that's going to go through these bosses here, and that's for the valve. They have it as a 1/2 inch from the center of this bore up. Well, 1/2 inch is clear up here, and it's not even close to the center of the bore. Not even close. I think I might come back and do this one as I get farther here. This won't even be close to the center. It'll hit the bore, but won't be close. It might be a little on the off side, you might say. All it has to be is in the center of the bore because it's a valve. It's just the exhaust port. So as long as it's in where the valve is going to be. So we'll line that one up after I drill the center bore here, I think. So I went to the computer, and what I ended up doing was I measured the casting to as best I, for some pretty good measurements, And this is way narrower. This is way narrower. This is a lot shorter than their original drawing. So I updated my drawing. Since I've already made the cylinder at their specified measurements from the center of the rotation here to the ports is 1/2 inch, and that's how my cylinder is. So I really can't change this relationship. I must keep that so the cylinder still hits the porting. So what I did is over here, you'll see here, this port, I angled the port from the same 1/2 inch spacing on the face. I angled the port down to where the valve will be. Now on the valve, I just might have to drill a hole. There's 2 holes drilled in the valve itself. One might have to just be at this angle, the one that intersects with this port as it goes in and out. This here is also a little bit lower, actually. So it's only 0.27. It was a 1/2 inch before from the center line of this valve bore. I had to move it down, and now it's only 0.27. So it intersects with, so it hits the bosses. I hope that's clear. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm setting up right now to drill this bore right now. And the next thing we'll do is we'll drill the bore here. And then we'll be able to do the rest of all of it. I have the base mounted against the jaw again, using the back as the datum against the fixed jaw. 2 clamps, the 2 jacks against the casting, holding it. And what I did is I put a 1/4 inch pin, fits real nice in there, and to get it so it's the right angle this way, right? So I put my test indicator on there, rocked it back and forth to get the highest, and then back and forth this way. And I'm less than 1/2 of a thousandth, just a couple tenths maybe, and a 1/2 inch. So we got it located this way real well, and vertical with the back of the base. When we drill this, we'll be perpendicular to this bore this way. I'm going to run the test indicator along this other machine surface to make sure it's vertical. Up and down this way, I'm less than a half a thousandth also this way. So we're, for overall, we're within a half a thousandth of everything. So that's pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with that. Especially for just doing it on the mill. I have my indicator in the quill, and I'm just running it up and down on this other side here. Now the other problem we have is this surface here needs to be the center line of the bore through here. So I can't reach in here with the edge finder and get this is in the way because of the offset. So I'm going to take a 2-inch gauge block, hold it in here, and I'm going to pick up on the edge of the gauge block, and then I know I need to come over 2 inches once I have this edge. Right there. Now I'm going to pick up the edge of the gauge pin and calculate how far over I need to come. I need to come from the center of 0.27. I ended up adding a jack here. I could see it barely moving, but I don't want it to move, so I put a jack underneath to support this. Centered up on that, came up at 0.27 just like the other one, and we're going to be right in the middle of the port. That's just drilled into the valve port. That's all. This is the exhaust port. All right, we're going to drill the porting, and we also have a little slot to mill on the port. Now I'm edge finding the position of this valve port so I can get the center of it. We'll go on both sides of the edge finder and then do a calculation for the center with the DRO, with a built-in feature. Then we'll edge find the pivot port also, and then we picked up our position where we need to drill down through, and we drill down all the way to that lower port. There's a small hole, and then I enlarged the top part of it to plug. Here's the just about finished base. That side there, and this side here. Now, I still need to put a bore here. I wanted to get a little farther along before I did that. It'll be like this bore here for screw clearance. And you'll see the boo-boo right there, my chuck rubbed. Yeah, that's not paying attention. That's paying attention to filming and 6 other things I should have been paying attention to, right? Yeah, so I rubbed my chuck there and kind of put a little ding in it, but not too bad. Bozo happens. Yeah. Otherwise, this came out really good. Like I said, I enlarged my hole here, so it was a little easier for me to plug. That's why. And I got better intersection with because this hole has to intersect with this hole, with the valve here, and I could see real well, and I got real good intersection down inside of the bore there now. So that'll be a lot easier to control and plug instead of some tiny little hole. I only drilled it down a little ways there, so I had intersection with the valve. But yeah, otherwise I'm pretty happy with this. And I already have some bushings made up. Now I had these from some previous work I did, and these are exactly the right size, which is really nice. They're made of bearings bronze, and these will be used for right here. And on the other, just to show you the other base real quick, the same size bushing goes here, so I had enough of those to use and slip in here. They're just slipped in here for now. And then I had ones that fit this one for this end, for over here. And this side I still need to make the bushings for, so I'll do that probably off camera. No need to, it's pretty simple. And continue on. We'll just continue plugging away. So the bases are basically done. Just a couple things to do on this one still, but they're simple. And on to the next part. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. And we'll be seeing you in the next one.